I'd like to drink less, but I'm not an alcoholic. I might not even drink if it wasn't for everybody else doing it. Well, fortunately for you, there's a brand new movement, or actually more of a relatively new movement, called Sober Curious, also known as Sober Sometimes. It has nothing to do with God, it does not require Alcoholics Anonymous, but it does fall short in a couple of very key ways, and that is what we're going to be discussing right now. Welcome back, guys. If you're new here, my name is Xander. I am a teetotaler. I've been a teetotaler since I was 13 years old, and I teach people how to break free from the shackles of social anxiety and alcohol dependence. So this whole Sober Curious thing, what is it? To put it simply, the entire message of Sober Curious in this whole movement or the trend is opening up sobriety to anyone. So it's no longer about the addict, it's no longer about the problem drinker, it's no longer required that you identify as an alcoholic in order to seek treatment and recovery and education and so forth. If you are in the slightest interested in drinking less or not at all, you can accept this term of Sober Curious or Sober Sometimes and be a part of this movement. It's not owned by any organization, and I think that's pretty cool. However, it falls short in a very important couple of ways, and those are listed here. So first of all, as you might expect, the whole movement of Sober Curious, it really emphasizes sobriety. For example, if you look up Sober Curious events online, you'll find that in cities, big cities like LA, New York, Denver, there are now sober events hosted by bars regularly. Like some bars will have, for example, a weekly night where they have a dry bar, no alcoholic beverages served, and that way there's an environment that is opened up to allow people that are sober curious to come together and feel as if they have this welcoming, inclusive environment to open up about this interest of theirs, and they can socialize freely and not be the only one not drinking. Does that make sense? So it's pretty cool, and I respect the hell out of it, but here's the problem. If the reason that you're struggling to drink less or you're struggling to not drink at all is because of the socialization aspect, and you depend on something like this type of event, and maybe you have to pay for it, it's not put on very often, or even if it is, it's not put on, it's not permanent, right? Like if you wanted to go to a regular bar, you wouldn't be able to because of this term called context dependence. It's your context dependence. Your social confidence, your social fun and lubrication is dependent on everyone else there being sober, everyone else there having that common interest of sober curious. And so instead, what I'm suggesting that you do is focus on social. Rather than sobriety, which Sober Curious focuses on, I'm emphasizing in this channel, in this brand, social and social skills, social confidence, which then makes you context independent. Whether you have a situation where everybody else there is also not drinking, or you're the only one not drinking in the bar, or it's not even nighttime. Imagine having the skills and the confidence to approach a pretty girl in the middle of the day, whether you're walking through campus or you're in Walmart or you're in some other kind of retail store or whatever. You are completely free in your expression. Imagine how just empowering and amazing that would feel. That's what we're aiming for with this channel, the Sober Social versus Sober Curious benefits. In addition to these Sober Curious, sobriety emphasized events, you can also find Sober Curious education online, also emphasizing, of course, sobriety. But I'm really curious, is the reason that it's a challenge for you to drink less or not at all actually because of any sort of inherent value that you get from drinking, some sort of like high or drunkenness that you get from drinking, or is it actually because of the socialization aspect that you feel that you have to compromise in order to drink less or stop drinking? If it's the latter, then it makes more sense to focus on your social skills and your social confidence than it does sobriety. And from that position, assuming that you have emphasized and prioritized your social excellence and you become socially confident without the alcohol, how hard do you think it would be from that position to drink less or not at all? Don't you think that sobriety would become more of a choice? A very simple and easy choice, rather than this thing that you have to sort of willpower and tactically figure out your way through how to drink less or how to stop drinking within 30 days or whatever, you know? because you're no longer missing anything. You're not giving anything up, and so with the alcohol or without the alcohol, you're just as confident, you're having just as much fun, you're just as funny. And so now you can drink or you can not drink, and you're just as happy. You don't have any sort of inclination to drink less, and if you do, you do it. It's not a problem. You don't need that extra education. So in addition to context independence, I also am trying to offer you substance independence. So context independence, no matter where you are or who you're with, what time of day it is, you're just as confident, you have just as much fun. Substance independence, you can drink or you cannot drink, and you're just as happy, you're just as confident, you're having just as much fun. To wrap up, guys, Sober Curious is about offering you a new lifestyle. If you want to drink less or you want to drink not at all, Sober Curious is all about making that a socially acceptable and perhaps even a cool decision, opening up the opportunity for you to connect with other people that are interested in drinking less or not at all, and giving you that space, that environment of acceptance and inclusion to make it not so scary. But Sober Social, on the other hand, wants to give you choice. I don't just want to give you a predetermined lifestyle and make that lifestyle possible to live. I want to give you the power to decide. If you want to drink less, it's easy. If you want to stop drinking, it's easy. If you want to be the most social, brave, free, open person that you know, it's easy. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please let me know by liking it and consider subscribing. Thank you, and I will see you next week.